Hello, you're watching QPVN News. I'm Anh Tuấn and we keep you up to date with the headlines. Defense Minister Phan Van Giang hosts phone talks with U.S. counterparts. Ministry of National Defense leader works with VIETTEL Group. Vietnam's digital economy expands rapidly, leading Southeast Asia. On February the 7th, under the chair of National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, the 42nd session of the National Assembly Standing Committee gave opinions on the Ordinance Project on management and protection of the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum relic area. According to the summary reports presented by Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến, Deputy Defense Minister, current documents only focus on the task of managing and protecting the works in the mausoleum relic site, and there are no appropriate legal documents to manage and protect the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. At the meeting, the National Assembly Standing Committee voted in principle to approve the draft ordinance on management and protection of the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. National Assembly Vice Chairman Trần Quang Phương requested relevant agencies to continue to collect opinions from the National Assembly Standing Committee to complete the draft ordinance. On the evening of February the 7th, General Phan Van Giang, Minister of National Defense, had phone talks with U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. General Phan Van Giang congratulated Mr. Pete Hegseth on being appointed the 29th Secretary of Defense of the U.S. He affirmed that Vietnam is consistent with the foreign policy of independence, self-reliance, diversification, and multilateralization of relations, proactive and active international integration, being a friend, a reliable partner, and a responsible member of the international community, always considering the U.S. one of the top strategically important partners. General Phan Van Giang also expressed delight at the effective implementation of defense cooperation over the past time in various fields, including the war legacy settlement as a highlight. The Vietnamese defense minister hoped that the two defense ministries would continue to maintain delegation exchanges and contacts at high levels, as well as the existing consultation and dialogues mechanisms. The 13th Defense Policy Dialogue is expected to be organized soon. 2025 marks the 30th anniversary of the normalization of the Vietnam-U.S. relations. General Giang hoped that the two defense ministries would work together to effectively carry out meaningful cooperation activities to celebrate this important milestone. Mr. Pete Hegseth spoke highly of and expressed his delight at the continuously developing bilateral relations. He affirmed that the U.S. would continue to closely coordinate with Vietnam in the task of overcoming war consequences, promoting the defense cooperation substantially for the interests of each country, as well as for peace, stability, and common development of the region and the world, contributing to augmenting the comprehensive strategic partnership between Vietnam and the U.S. On February the 7th, Senior Lieutenant General Lê Huy Vịnh, Deputy Defense Minister, worked with the Military Telecommunication and Industry Group. VIETTEL's scientific and technological activities have always been promoted since the group first entered the telecommunications market. After nearly 15 years of participating in the high-tech defense industry, it has researched, mastered, and produced military products with a total revenue of millions of US dollars. General Vịnh requested the group, based on its experience, resources, and existing institutions, to continue implementing transitional science and technology tasks from 2024 and open new tasks to research, manufacture, and test products according to the tasks assigned by the Ministry of National Defense and the needs of units in the home military. VIETTEL's successful experiences need to be replicated in the home military, contributing to creating a breakthrough in the development of military science and technology, innovation and digital transformation in the military. In Đồng Đăng Town, Cao Lộc District, Lạng Sơn Province, a conference took place to review the twinning activities among residential clusters on both sides of the border between Đồng Đăng Town, Cao Lộc District, Lạng Sơn Province, Vietnam, and Pingxiang Town, Guangxi Chuang Autonomous Region, China. This is the first activity within the framework of the 9th Vietnam-China Border Defense Friendship Exchange, which is expected to officially take place this April in Lạng Sơn Province, Vietnam, and Guangxi Province, China. Starting a twinning relationship 8 years ago, the two sides have regularly visited and traded, contributing to promoting the solidarity, friendship, cooperation, and exchanges between the two peoples. Since the two sides approved and signed the Friendship Town Agreement, we have always received the direction and favorable conditions from the superiors of both sides. Authorities and people from both sides have actively supported each other in socio-economic development and poverty reduction. Upholding achieved results, the two sides agreed to continue to carry out practical and meaningful exchange activities. We hope that Cao Lộc District of Vietnam will thoroughly implement the strategic common understanding of the leaders of the two parties, continue to deepen cooperation in such fields as infrastructure, customs clearance, tourism, labor, cross-border e-commerce, international education, thus creating a strong driving force for the friendship and cooperation between the two sides to new heights in the new situation. On this occasion, people of Đồng Đăng Town, Vietnam, and Pingxiang Town, China, organized sports, cultural, and art exchanges. We are very excited and enthusiastic to participate in the exchanges. We are grateful to two governments for creating such opportunities for us. The RBA area, where Vietnam Military Engineering Company is on duty, often sees extreme weather with scorching heat over 40 degrees Celsius, low humidity, lack of water and barren land. Agricultural production here faced many difficulties. Performing the role of a military ready for production, Vietnam Military Engineering Company Rotation 3 and the previous ones have implemented many creative solutions to increase production effectively, greening the barren land, bringing seeds from Vietnam. The troops carefully selected drought-resistant crops such as water spinach, pumpkin and squash. To improve the soil, they produce organic fertilizers from waste during daily activities. The company's concentrated vegetable garden had a roof to limit the impact of sunlight. Along with many other creative and reasonable solutions, the troops have a lush vegetable garden right in the arid land of RBA. The harvested vegetables have improved the troops' meal quality while contributing to fostering discipline, teamwork and resilience among the soldiers. Coming up next, Vietnam's FDI inflow hits more than $4.33 billion in January. Vietnam's digital economy expands rapidly, leading Southeast Asia. Creatively applying President Ho Chi Minh's thought on diplomacy, the party and state of Vietnam consider national protection and development as the consistent goal of all diplomatic activities, striving to achieve the highest possible national interest, that is, to create and maintain a peaceful and stable environment while firmly protecting independence, sovereignty, unity and territorial integrity, continuing to enhance the country's international position and prestige, contributing to creating momentum for the country to accelerate, break through and firmly enter a new era, the era of national growth. In 2024, the world situation continued to fluctuate in a complex manner, with many instabilities and conflicts. Urgent global issues such as climate change, natural disasters, epidemics, and food and water security have multidimensional impacts, seriously threatening countries' stable and sustainable development. In his New Year's message for 2025, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres stressed that humanity must exit this road to ruin and must work together for a new beginning in 2025.
Throughout 2024, hope has been hard to find. Wars are causing enormous pain, suffering and displacement. Inequalities and divisions are rife, fueling tensions and mistrust. There are no guarantees for what's ahead in 2025, but I pledge to stand with all those who are working to forge a more peaceful, equal, stable and healthy future for all people. Together we can make 2025 a new beginning, not as a world divided, but as nations united.
A world of international cooperation and solidarity in which Vietnam is an active and responsible member. That is demonstrated by the handshakes full of goodwill and friendship. In 2024, key leaders of Vietnam made a total of 60 foreign affairs activities, including 21 visits to countries and attending multilateral conferences, welcoming 25 delegations of leaders of countries to visit Vietnam. Vietnam also stepped up the implementation of international agreements and commitments, concretized upgraded relationship frameworks, and signed over 170 new cooperation agreements in various fields. Vietnam's voice for peace, friendship, and cooperation is trusted and highly appreciated by international friends. International integration and defense diplomacy must be implemented actively, proactively, flexibly, practically, and effectively. A peaceful environment is also the premise for Vietnam to build trust in the hearts of international friends. Vietnam has now become a promising destination for international investments.
So we see, of course, that Vietnam is offering a lot of opportunities for our business community. We see a stable investment environment. We see a very well-educated labor force. We see a government that is very open for dialogue.
The country's new position and power in terms of economy, security, defense, and foreign affairs in the new period pose requirements for Vietnam's new mindset and position in the international arena. The position and status were achieved through Vietnam's efforts to unite nations for peace and international cooperation, thereby strongly spreading the image of an independent, self-reliant, peaceful, cooperative, friendly, and developing Vietnam. Vietnam recorded smooth start in FDI attraction in 2025. More than $4.33 billion in FDI was funneled into Vietnam in January, a year-on-year surge of 48.6%. In which newly registered capital reached nearly $1.29 billion. Meanwhile, the additional capital hit nearly $2.73 billion. Foreign investor engaged in share purchases and capital contributions totaling $322.9 million, up 70.4% year-on-year. Investment capital through share purchases and capital contributions reached $322.9 million, up 70.4% year-on-year. The top 5 partners, including the Republic of Korea, Singapore, Japan, China, Hong Kong, accounted for 73.4% of new investment projects and 86.5% of the country's total registered investment capital. Bắc Ninh Province attracted the highest investment, followed by Đồng Nai Province and Hanoi City. According to the Ministry of Information and Communications, Vietnam climbed 15 places in the UN E-Government Development Index in 2024, reaching 71st out of 193 nations. This marks the first time Vietnam has been classified among countries with a very high E-Government Development Index. In detail, Vietnam's digital economy surged in 2024, accounting for 18.3% of GDP and growing at over 20% annually, 3 times faster than the country's GDP growth rate and the highest in Southeast Asia. With revenue reaching $25 billion, Vietnam is in the top 10 countries with the fastest e-commerce growth rate in the world. The annual growth rate of cashless payment increased by more than 50%, leading Southeast Asia. In addition, the semiconductor industry development strategy also opens up new paths and development spaces for the digital technology industry. This is the end of the QPVN News today. Remember to watch our news again at qpvn.vn. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.